42 days ago, I came on as a substitute in the 78th minute. 3 minutes and one full sprint later, I had pulled my hamstring and my time on the pitch was already over. What has happened since then? Let me show you. Alright everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the 2023 season series. It's been quite a while since I made episode 4, and the reason for this was that I wanted to cover my whole rehab process from the very start. So 42 days ago I injured myself. I pulled my hamstring after just 3 minutes of coming on when we played Tvååker at home at Värnsvallen. It all happened very quickly. I'll talk through it in the last episode. But as soon as it happened, my mind went to what can I do to minimize the time frame that I'm away. So what we did was to put pressure immediately on the injury, which is really the most important thing to minimize the bleeding. So the first days was quite bad. I could barely walk. So 2 days after the injury occurred, I met up with the physio to get a diagnosis and what I should do treatment-wise and rehab-wise going forward. And really the initial part of it was to test out how bad it was, and really the first few days it improved quite quickly, so we both understood quite early on that it wasn't anything major. He said that probably a grade 1 or grade 2 hamstring injury, so that was a relief. Obviously I've never had a hamstring injury before, so I was worried, but things looked good. We wanted to start the rehab process as early as possible. So the rehab exercises I was given for that the first days really was just to do some activation exercises with no external weights, just using my body and just try to get the blood flowing in the legs and to put that hamstring through a range of motion and see what the muscle could tolerate in terms of, would I get any more pain from doing these exercises? Then maybe I have to tone it down a bit, do something less. So these first days was kind of tough. But I felt optimistic because the injury felt good and I didn't have too much pain doing any of the exercises. So I did those for about 3 or 4 days. Then I went back to the physio. We had another meeting. So I just got out of the meeting with the physio and things are looking really good. I did some more extensive physical tests where I really used my hamstring, and it felt really good. I didn't feel any pain, just some slight stiffness, but no pain really. So that's brilliant. And what's even better is that he told me that I can go to training today and run with the ball, do some jogging. It's gonna be nice getting back out there. It hasn't been that long. It's been a week and 3 days since I injured myself. But it's going to be nice to finally be back out on the pitch, do some jogging, be involved with the group again. The only rule is no sprinting, and then I'm just going to feel how I feel, and hopefully everything goes okay, and then I can start ramping it up as we go along. So I continue to up my rehab, now adding in more strength work to my rehab routine. And the second game that I missed was 2 weeks after I sustained my injury exactly. We played away to Ariana and we won the game 1-0, which was a huge 3 points for us. I stayed at home for this trip, didn't travel with the team. So I was back in training pretty quickly. About 10 days after I got the injury, I was back in team training. I didn't participate fully, but I tried to be involved in as many exercises as I could, and it felt okay. I felt it a bit, but from what the physio said, he said if there's some slight pain, there shouldn't be any issues if the pain does not persist after said activity. So let's say gym or team practice or whatever it is. If the pain persists, then I should really be careful and then take it down a notch, because then I've been doing too much that the hamstring can't handle. And then within the space of 8 days we played 3 games, and it was at this point that because I hadn't really been stressed out about the whole injury thing, because when I got the diagnosis it was like 2-3 weeks, and then you should be able to get back. That was the initial diagnosis, and the initial time frame was 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, and then I should be able to get back. But then I missed the first 2 games. I didn't feel any sort of stress. It was like, we'll be back soon. And then we played 3 games in the space of 8 days, and then suddenly I had missed 5 games, and it was at this point that I start to feel like the season is like slipping away from me, and I want to get back. I believe we had a game on Saturday, then we were off on Sunday, and then I trained the full session with the team. I trained Monday, Tuesday. We had a game Wednesday. I traveled with the team to the game, and I did my rehab work and the whole warm-up, and I did some intervals with some more high-intensity running. Felt really good. And then Thursday we were off, so I took a day off to rest up because I've been training for 3 or 4 days in a row. Friday we trained again. I trained fully with the team. Felt good, but we agreed, that me and the coach, that we have this full week of training, and then we have a cup game on Monday against a lower division team where I will be able to get a few minutes, and this seemed like a great plan to me. I did my max intensity session that you can watch up here if you haven't done that, and the aim of that individual session was to test my body out and test my hamstring out and see how it reacted to full-on sprints, braking, shooting. So I did that one, and everything felt fine, no issues at all. So then the next day, on Monday, we were supposed to play this game against Skoftebyn, which is a 6th tier team here in Sweden. Things felt good, and he asked me in the morning, how do you feel? And I said, I feel ready. I want to start the game. And we agreed, let's play 30 to 45 minutes from the start, and then we take it easy after that, so we gradually get me back into playing. And against the lower division team, there isn't as much of those high intensity runs as maybe you have in a Division 1 game. So I did the warm-up, felt fine, didn't feel anything at all. Played for 30 minutes, felt lively. I got into a few 1v1s, be my guy, putting crosses. I thought I played great. Played as a wing back for the first time in quite a while, and things felt good. But then in the 31st minute, around there, we had a counterattack. I wanted to be involved, so I sprinted forward. I had done 2 or 3 sprints, full-on maximum effort sprints I'm talking about now. I've done a few of those before this one, but then during that sprint I felt a slight twitch. It wasn't like I pulled my hamstring again, like when it happened the first time, but I felt a slight twitch, and I was like, what was that? Was that the hamstring again? I'm not sure. Let me try for a few more minutes. And then I played on, and it felt, a bit stiff. It didn't hurt, so I played on. I had a chat with the coach at halftime, and I told him, it's probably enough, because I felt that there might be something here, and I don't want to risk it anymore. And so I came off, I put pressure on, I went into the dressing room at halftime, got a shower, and went home, and then the next day it was pretty sore again. So I think I might have pulled it slightly again. So this was really the first real setback, you could say, in the rehab process. And the mistake I did here, now looking back, was that I did the strengthening in the gym, so that was a check, and I did the high intensity stuff on the pitch, but I didn't do the maximum effort sprints. And it's really during those maximum effort sprints that your hamstring is at risk, because you have a longer step than you have when you accelerate. So it's a totally different kind of mechanism physically. So that was really the issue. I hadn't done a lot of those and the hamstring wasn't ready for that, and that is really the most intense thing that you can put it through, because there's a lot of force applied that the hamstring has to deal with in order to be able to sprint at your maximum speed. So the week after that, Tuesday I didn't train with the team. I took it easy. Wednesday we didn't have training. Thursday, Friday I became sick on top of everything, which didn't help me out. So I didn't do anything those days because the hamstring felt sore again. I don't know if it correlated with me being sick with like the pain getting a bit worse. So we were off Saturday, and then we had a training on Sunday, and then I was back from my sickness. I didn't do anything major. I didn't train with the team, and then we played Norrby on Monday, and then Tuesday we were off, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we trained 3 days in a row, and I felt really good those 3 days. And Friday was yesterday, and in that session I felt really explosive, and I felt really technically sharp, which was kind of the first time that I felt that in a while. Like in a finishing exercise we did at the end, I did really well, scored a lot of goals. The coach asked if I could join in for today's trip. We play today in 90 minutes time against Oskarshamn away. But I said that I don't want to make the same mistake again. I got 3 days of training now with the team, and I've been feeling good, but I don't want to do the same thing again, because I haven't been able to, in those, like this time span over the last week, I haven't been able to do these maximum effort sprints. I've been gradually building up to just be involved in team training, and in team training there isn't a lot of those sprints. So I told him I have to be able to do those first before I join in on a game, because obviously you can't control what happens in a game environment, so you have to be ready for everything. So we agreed that I stay at home this time, and then we play in 8 days, so next Sunday, and that is probably the day I will be back in the squad. So I think it was a mistake the first time out. In hindsight, it's easy to say afterwards. Obviously I shouldn't have pushed it too soon, but for a whole week it felt fine, and I would probably have done it again if I didn't know better. So can't really blame myself or the physio or any put the blame on anyone. You have to have those small setbacks. It's very unusual that like your rehab process is just like a straight line back to full fitness. There's usually going to be some road bumps, as with everything in life, and that was one of them. And I think it had to happen, and as my coach said, you have to test it out. You can't just be afraid all the time, because I've been feeling fine for a week. Should I be fine for 2 weeks, 3 weeks? So at some point I have to test it out, and it didn't work out this time, and you have to accept that. Obviously at the time it felt really tough, and I thought I was going to be away for a lot longer. So I missed now 2 games after that cup game. So a total of 7 games now that I've been away. It is what it is, but I've been doing what I can in terms of my rehab, in terms of my sleep and diet. I've been to the sauna a lot, more than I've ever been to the sauna, and done some contrast therapies. I did the sauna for about 15-20 minutes, and then I went into an ice bath for 5, and then I went back and forth and those kinds of things to promote blood flow. So I've been trying to do everything I can, but now it's 42 days, and it's longer than I expected. So this next week, it's just about, keep gradually improving the fitness and get a lot of those maximum effort sprints in, gradually improve the distance, gradually improve the speed. So be able to work myself up towards being able to perform multiple full maximum effort sprints. When I can do that, then I'm ready. So towards the end of this week, Friday, Saturday, then I should really be able to do that and be ready for the game. And I probably won't start the game. I'll probably just be involved in the squad, come on as a substitute. Some takeaways that I've learned during this rehab process that I want to share is, number one, I think you should have a clear communication between you your coach and your physio so that you're all on the same page, and keep each other updated on what's going on. If I don't feel good, I let him know. If I feel good, I let him know. So you have a clear dialogue back and forth of how things are progressing. I think that's important for your coach to know, obviously, but I think it's been important for my mind as well to know that he knows if I'm ready or not, and that has taken away some of the stress that may come with coming back from injury, you know, because obviously your coach wants you back in the team. He needs his players. That's not a weird thing. And another takeaway is this is kind of a hard one, but don't be afraid to push it if it feels good, because you have to do that, and there's always a risk involved with setbacks, as I had. But try to take those risks. It's these calculated risks we are talking about here. I'm not talking about doing anything stupid, but I felt fine for a whole week leading up to a game where I was going to play for 30 minutes. As much of a risk, and I had a setback, and then I learned from it, and then I didn't do the same thing this time out. Another key thing that I want to involve is try to take your mind off as much of the game as you can and you feel like comfortable with. And this is going to be different for everyone, because we all have a different relationship to the game. Yeah, I wanted to take my mind off the game when I had a chance, so I played some frisbee golf with some friends. My sister came down to visit me. We had a good time. We went to the movies, watched the latest Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It was super great, by the way, probably one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. And we played some frisbee golf as well. We just had a great time, and I've just been trying to stay as stress-free, and because I think that's important. You don't want the stress, because that only makes things worse. It started to creep in when I have missed those first 3 games in the space of 8 days. Then I felt like I need to get back now, because I'm missing too much of the season. But it doesn't help me in any way. It's just emotional thinking, and I know we're emotional creatures, and those kinds of thoughts will come. But try to take your mind off that and just focus on what you can control, which is your rehab, your nutrition, sleep, all those areas that you can control, and then do what's best. So yeah, that was kind of a different episode. I just wanted to fill you up, because I've been getting a lot of DMs, people asking me how I feel, and I wanted to provide an update on how I felt. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, like the video, helps me out. Subscribe if you haven't, appreciate it a lot, and then I'll just see you in the next one. Take care, guys, and bye. So then after 7 days, the next Saturday, we had the first game. Men skämtar du? Fan, kan ni köra lite snabbare eller?